Welcome back to the New You Kitchen for episode 2. Today we're making pan-crusted salmon. Before we get into this, let's go over what you're going to need. Some fresh salmon, preferably. You can get the frozen kind. We're going to go with some seeds of change, brown rice and quinoa. This stuff you cook up in the microwave 90 seconds. It tastes great. And right here we prepared a fresh green salad with some tomatoes and some green onions. Keep it real simple. You can add some mushrooms, some other stuff if you got it. Next up, we're also going to grill up a little bit of green onions, some garlic, just to give our fish some profile. And then we're going to try out some of these new Flavor God seasonings that my wife ordered us. So we're going to get to cracking. So first, what we need to do, we're going to get our pans nice and hot. That way we can get this thing going. And then we're going to make our crust. So in order to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to put in some of this seasoning down here. And then we're going to go over to our herb rack over here. You can get a little bit of dill weed. Just sprinkle it in there. And basically we're going to put all of our ingredients into a plate of some sort. It's easier in a plate, especially with the larger pieces of fish. And then I'm going to add some grapeseed oil because unfortunately right now I don't have extra virgin olive oil, which is probably some of the best oil you can use with the antioxidants and whatnot. So we're going to add that in there, and then we're going to mix everything up, and then we're just going to soak the fish in it for a few seconds. So now we got our herb crust all mixed up here. We're going to take a look. So we let it sit in here for just a minute, let the herbs kind of soak up a little bit of the oil, get a little bit of that hydration back into them. So what we're going to do, our pan's heating up here. We're going to take 2 pieces of fish. We're just going to throw it in here. So there's not a whole lot of oil in this, basically because we just want to get it to stick to the fish. It'll lubricate the pan enough to where your fish isn't going to stick. If you have a good non-stick pan, you're going to be great. So as you can see here, it's going to just build that crust up nice and good. Add a little bit more on there, a little bit less, and then on to the direct heat here. And you get a nice good sear. It's only going to be about 2 to 3 minutes for each side. So I'm going to hit the timer, and then we'll be back. So while we got our fish cooking here, it only takes a few minutes for each side. You'll start seeing inside here, the pink will start turning white about halfway. We're going to go ahead and flip it. For the meantime, we're going to let it crust up. It'll build a nice exterior crunch with a nice flakiness to it. So in the meantime, we got our other pan on. We're going to add our green onions and fresh garlic. This is going to be kind of the garnishment to our dish here. We're going to get those bad boys in there on the heat. In the meantime, we're going to come back over here, add a little bit of lemon to it. Let it sizzle up. And again, we reduce the heat down to low to make sure that we're not going to overcook the fish. We just want to make sure that we get it nice and crispy on each side. And we're going to pull out our flipper here in about a minute. So now we've got about a minute left. The fish is cooking up pretty quick, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it. I've got an extra wide one, another one to help out here. So what you'll notice is the bottom is real crispy and that crust stayed on there. And that's what you want to look for. You're going to have a nice crisp crunch to it, but yet it's not going to be overcooked. So now that we're back, we went ahead, we already got our rice in the microwave, it's done. Here's how the plate looks. Got our green, nice green salad, we've got our fish, we've got our complex carbs. We're gonna top our salad off with some actual honey mustard. And instead of the dressing style, this is just an actual honey mustard. Cut some calories, still give you the same kind of flavor profile. We're just gonna drizzle it on there a little bit for a little bit of flavor. And dinner is served. Philosophy of use real quick. Great for dinner. The fish, if it's fresh when you cook it, it's great for lunch. It's not too fishy the next day. And can be paired with all kinds of different sides. So stay tuned for episode 3. We're going to cook